You hear laughing from the other room, but you're home alone. A knock at the door, and the black-eyed children want you to let them in. You drive by that abandoned house that everyone says is haunted, and a figure is standing in the window. You go for a hike, and you experience missing time. How long were you gone, and where did you go? You're camping, and you hear a voice calling you in the woods, but that sounds like your own voice. Every town in the world has its scary stories. This is the Local Legends Podcast.
Welcome back to the Local Legends Podcast. My name is Berton Moran. I'm not even sure what episode this is. I know it has been a while since I have uploaded a new episode, and for that I apologize. I would like to thank everybody who recently, there has been a few of you that have been sending me some pretty awesome clips of like ghost hunting. You guys have been sending me UFO stuff, basically all your strange things that you have encountered, everything you've recorded. You guys have hit me up with some awesome stories, and I want to thank you all for that. I won't name names. I won't put anything out there that nobody wants out there. But I do appreciate it. And if you guys know anybody else who hasn't sent me anything, you guys can hit me up on Facebook. You can leave a comment here on YouTube. You can look me up on Twitter at Berton Moran. You can look me up Instagram at Berton Moran. Basically all of them, Local Legends, if you haven't seen me there. But if you have something you want to share with me, something maybe you just want me to look at and get an idea of what it is, go ahead and hit me up. And I think it's pretty awesome. I really appreciate you guys sending me that stuff. And yeah, keep it up. Now, I also want to throw out a big thank you to the Strange Road podcast. And everybody's listened to that episode. That was great with those guys. I have been busy talking with some other creators, stuff like that. And everybody who came over from the Hollow Sky podcast, all you Hollow Cult members who've come over and subscribed, I really do appreciate you guys. You guys have been, some of you guys have been sharing my stuff, and that is awesome. Now, with that, I do want to get into this episode. If anybody's in the Denver, Colorado area, next month on the 12th of May, I will be in Denver going to the Rocky Mountain Nightmares horror convention. So if you guys want to run into me there, that's where I'll be on the 12th. Possibly longer, but anyways, I do have an episode for you guys. It's one I've been wanting to talk to you guys about for a while, and I don't want to spoil it too far away, but I'm sure I will already in the thumbnail of this podcast episode. But I don't know if I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard about this. This was on the new series on, Unsolved Mysteries on Netflix. And we're talking today about hitchhiking ghosts. We've had our own fair share of hitchhiking ghosts here in America with, like, Resurrection Mary, the woman who died in a terrible car accident on her way home, who's on the side of the road and people have seen her. I want to say that's near New Jersey, but I'm not 100% sure on that. But one that recently happened, and I mean recent, this is still being experienced in Japan. So basically, there have been taxi drivers picking up fares, and whenever they get to their destination, the person in the back has just disappeared. The doors haven't opened. And yeah, I'm going to kind of get into what's going on with that, or where it started from. So basically, this is off of the internet, just some information that I found about the terrible tsunami that happened. Japan earthquake and tsunami of 2011, also called the Great Sendai Earthquake. I might be pronouncing that wrong, so don't come after me. Several natural disasters that occurred in northeastern Japan on March 11th, 2011. The event began with a powerful earthquake off the eastern coast of Honshu, Japan's main island, which caused widespread damage on land and initiated a series of large tsunami waves that devastated mainly coastal areas of the country, most notably in the Tohoku region, or northeastern Honshu. The tsunami also ignited a major nuclear accident at a power station on the coast. The magnitude of the earthquake was 9.0. That struck at 2:46. And this was devastating. It took out so much land. I got so many numbers here I just don't want to go through, but initially, if this is on YouTube, I'll post a couple of videos right now and stop, like the recording will stop and it'll just show you guys the videos of some of the devastation that has happened to this place. And yeah, this is going to be just a casualty report. Initial reports of casualties following the tsunami put the death toll in the hundreds, and hundreds more missing. The number in both categories increased dramatically in the following days as the extent of the devastation, especially in coastal areas, became known and rescue operations got underway. Within 2 weeks of the disaster, the Japanese government official count of death had exceeded 10,000. More than 1/2 times that number were still listed as missing and presumed dead. So we're looking at least 20,000 people either dead or missing. By then, it was evident that the earthquake and tsunami constituted one of the deadliest natural disasters in Japan history, rivaling the major earthquake and tsunami that had occurred off the coast of Iwate Prefecture in June 1896. As the search for victims continued, the official count of those confirmed dead or still missing rose to about 28,500. However, as more people thought to be missing were found to be alive, that figure had began to drop, and by the end of 2011, it had been reduced to some 19,300, either dead or missing. Ultimately, the official total of the number of those confirmed dead or listed missing from the disaster were about 18,500, although estimates give final total of at least 20,000 of those. Oh, man. And terrible, terrible thing. I remember watching that on the news and I remember my jaw dropping at the devastation that was happening. And if you've seen the videos, people just being drug out to sea, and it's terrible. It's not good. So, now I'm done with my reading of that. I'm going to switch over to another one. Now, this this is what has been taking place somewhat recently. So, yeah, here's what we're going to talk about here in a second. Almost everyone working in the public service industry for any length of time has had at least a few strange customers. About half a dozen Japanese taxi drivers, however, have claimed to not just odd but ghostly customers. They report that all seems like normal fare until the phantom passenger mysteriously vanishes from the back seat before arriving at their destination. According to the story on MSN.com, at least several taxi drivers in Ishinomaki, northern Japan, and now if I say that wrong, you guys, please forgive me, have reported experiencing a phantom fare in the wake of the devastating 2011 tsunami. In each instance, the story is similar. A taxi driver in northeastern Japan picks up a passenger in the area devastated by the 2011 earthquake and tsunami. He starts the meter and asks for a destination, to which the customer gives a strange response. Either then or sometime later, the driver turns around to address the man or woman, but the passenger has vanished. This is because it is claimed that it was a ghost passenger who was in fact killed in the devastation 5 years ago. So this is 2016, whenever this article came out. Oh man, I know that there was more on that. Give me a second. In a bizarre spooky tale, the site of a deadly Japanese tsunami killed nearly 1,600 people, several taxi drivers have been claiming to pick up ghost passengers. A 22-year-old college student named Yuku Kudo pulled 100 taxi drivers for their story as part of their sociology graduate thesis. Most brushed her off, but several told her what they believed to be ghostly encounters. In each retelling, the story is eerily similar. So this is between all 7 of these guys. They have the same experience. The cabbie says he picks up a passenger who shortly after asks if the writer's destination mysteriously disappears from the moving vehicle. One tale said he stopped for a woman several months after the disaster. So we're still talking 2011, 2012. She was wearing a coat, which is odd because it was summertime. So she's out of place. And asked to be taken to I'm going to try and pronounce this district. Forgive me if I'm wrong. Minamimaha, probably wrong, district. After the cab driver told her there was nothing there since the tsunami devastated the area, she said with a shaking voice as a reminder, "Have I died?" There was a similar story, too. They're not limited to the victims of the tsunami. The phantom hitchhiker, urban legend, well-known folktale, often framed around the drivers who picked up mysterious travelers as soon. Okay, so however, you could feel strongly. Okay, sorry about that, guys. I have seen some interesting clips online, which if you are watching this on YouTube, I am going to post a video. This video is not mine, but I remember watching this, and it shows what appears to be a woman appearing in the backseat of a cab and then disappearing. And I'm going to post that. I'm probably talking over it right now. With that amount of devastation going on, and this is just me talking here, not reading anything, I always found it very interesting because, we're talking thousands of people have died. Which was insane to even think about that number. But now out of that, we're getting, and from my understanding, it's still going on to this day that some of these cabbies are picking people up. And one of the interesting things that I found out, and it was on the episode of Unsolved Mysteries, was whenever these cab drivers pick up these people and they'll drive them to the destination, they get there, they turn around, and then they were just gone. But another crazy thing to think about is the cab drivers have been paying for the fare out of their own pockets, because once you start that meter, it's logged in that you're going to have that much money from your fares at the end of the day. So these cab drivers have actually been paying out of pocket to give these ghost rides. And I always thought that was kind of interesting. And they don't feel like they feel like they should and they have to. And how do you explain that to your boss? Well, I started the ride, but by the time they got there, they just disappeared. It's interesting. I don't know. So yeah, there's that. Let me see. Maybe I can find some more of these stories. Horrified cabbies pick up ghost passengers in the area devastated by the 2011 tsunami. Accept whatever that is. Sometimes I hate it whenever you're really looking for things. It kind of feels like somebody just copied the last person's. This is from themirror.uk. One cabbie said a young man climbed into his taxi, asked to go to... Oh, okay, I remember this guy specifically. Hiroriyama Mountain. Now, again, probably pronouncing that wrong. The customer would not elaborate to his response. Okay, he said he would go there. But he didn't... Okay, the young man climbed in the taxi, asked to go to that mountain. The customer would not elaborate, but pointed in the direction he wished to go. The driver set off, but when he eventually pulled over, he realized the passenger had disappeared. The haunting accounts, which were among seven similar ones, were collected by Miss Kudo as part of her graduation thesis. Okay, yep, this is, like I said, to find all these different stories is... Alright, I don't need all that. Just go back. Sometimes my computer's stupid. Conclusive proof of ghosts, breathtaking clips. Shows tsunami victim follow man into cab. Okay, so we got a whole other video here. If I can save this video, I will share it with you. That appears one may have been captured on camera after eerie footage emerged of what some suggest is a female ghost following a man into a cab. I've probably seen this video, but we'll check it out. Sorry if I'm being quiet. I'm just watching this. There's a guy walking up to the car, getting in the back. I don't see what they're talking about. That's okay, so the first cab drove off. Okay, there's multiple different cabs, different videos. So this is a security camera I'm watching. This must be the one, hopefully. Cab pulls up, guy walks in. Okay, yeah, that's an interesting one. Huh. Okay, I'm gonna stop the video there. Yeah, it does appear that a woman shows up out of nowhere. Huh. And it seems like a lot of these ghosts, a lot of these people that are, getting in these cars have said the same thing and asking if they have died. And one report I see a lot is that they're soaking wet. A lot of these ghosts, a lot of these cab fare rider people, just soaking wet. It's interesting. But yeah, I won't be taking any more of your time. But if you have not seen the episode of the Unsolved Mysteries. It is in Japanese, I believe. But it is worth a watch. They have an hour of really interesting stuff that goes over a lot more than I can cover. But if you haven't seen that, go check it out. And I know this is a short episode. We're going on maybe 20 minutes. I want to thank you guys for taking any amount of time. Just sit here at the Local Legends Podcast, sit here or driving to work or whatever you're doing. I hope you are well. I appreciate you guys sitting here with me, talking with me, enjoying what I'm talking about. I hope you're enjoying it. I don't know if you're enjoying it. If you haven't already followed me on any of your podcatcher apps, please do. If you haven't followed me on YouTube, that's mainly my big one I focus on. All of these episodes that get posted on the podcast also get posted on YouTube on my channel, which is Local Legends Berton Moran, where I do ghost hunting, other interesting things. At least I think they're interesting, or else I want to post them. And if you are into that, go check it out, hit the subscribe, and then leave me a comment. Let me know what you guys think. But with that being said, I appreciate you, and I'll see you in the next one.